Alrighty, welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, Classic Lesson on Classics. This is episode number 2437 and Doubleshot number 2331. Now, with this one we're discussing Thor Epic Collection Volume 20. I think this is Volume 23 if I'm not mistaken. 22. It's called Hell on Earth. Here's the cover for it. The book covers, it collects Avengers Annual 23, the last annual published until 1998. Thor Annual 19. This one also the last annual published in 1998 because it's only annual published for 3 years. And main Thor issues, it's basically 477 to 490. 476, to 490. Covering the time period of July 1994 to September 1995. And pretty much, yes, with next volume, when I cover it, it'll be the end of this very volume for Thor. Yep, this era is completely all done when I talk about that one. The writing here is done by Roy Thomas and Glenn Grieber. Also, Tom DeFalco returns for basically 490, and Ron Fritz. Artwork, John Bushma, Jerry DeMacari, MC Wayman, he's basically a popular one here, Stuart Johnson, Robert Walker, Sarah Ferreira, Lou Harrison, and Keith Pallard. The Avengers Annual, I'm skipping over that one because I've discussed it once already. The Thor Annual, mostly put, this is where the book starts off, which is strange. But why not? It's a 64-page annual. It's mostly put Thor versus basically Hades. And Charon, Hammer the Flame, and Cerberus. It's a really fun annual, the opening story. The backup story, well, basically is Thor and a guy named Daniel Walker, who only appears for this annual. It's just basically just a little fun issue. Yep. But as in the case of Thor Volume 1. Basically in the way we're dealing with the God Pack stuff. God Pack was a fairly new creation that mostly put Thor, and there's some weird stuff going in these issues where first you have God Pack and then this level was really weird where Thor goes back to Asgard and Red Thor is there. Who is Red Thor, you might ask? He is an imposter Thor because after this storyline, I kind of forgot he appeared here. But after this storyline, he does not return to get into the final issue of this run. Actually, it was more like issue 500, but yeah. God Pack. They had just made their debut. Mostly put, they were working with Thor for a while until they turned on him with 483. Well, actually, they're here at about 489. Yeah, they're pretty much in the way supporting characters in the very book. And of course, Thor's asked to stay in Asgard, but he's told no. And I do like the God Pack issues. It's really fun. Of course, Thor here starts fighting the Destroyer, and then he starts fighting Red Thor, who, of course, Odin mistakenly believes that this guy is actually his son, despite the fact this is actually not him. His actual name is Red Norva. I call him Red Thor because he's basically Thor with red hair. Yep. Now, strangely enough, basically, he makes a return here. And also, he had a thing, he was very pervy, and he really wanted to sleep with Sif. Very badly. Yeah, he actually has returned in Incredible Hulk 421. You're thinking, really? That's why he made his return? Yes, for some reason, Red Norville appeared there. If you're really curious, I have no idea why the heck he decided to appear here for. But you think he's Thor, but nope, it's an imposter Thor. So then he's here. Thor fights him for 2 issues, and eventually he leaves. Red Thor himself would occasionally, return also for a few more issues after this, and then he'd pop up for the last couple issues of this volume before it got relaunched, and he appeared for the Lost God Saga, and that's it. Well, that was before he got killed off. And you're thinking, what the heck are you talking about, Nick? Yeah, Donald Blake murdered him during Donny Ghost's run. Yeah, I have no idea why the heck, basically, that he thought this was a good idea. But he did. He killed him off here. Actually, just to get under Thor's skin. That was mostly put exactly what the heck he was doing here. Yep. It's like basically Thor had to fight him for 3 issues, and then basically he got taken care of. And of course he had to go back to Earth, and of course deal with a lot of men. Eventually, by the way, a lot of this cover is done by Lou Harrison. Eventually, the God Pack turns on him, and Highly Evolutionary. And of course, then we see Return 42 of the backup feature, focusing on the Warriors 3. Yeah, Warriors 3. We see, I believe it's Volstag's wife, and she looks very similar to him, very chunky. And this is the woman who married him, Hilgard. Yeah, not her first appearance per se, but probably her first appearance in quite a while, because her last appearance prior to being 482 was actually 454. Her most recent appearance today was actually in Mighty Thor 705, which that was about, I think about 5 years ago, I think that was. Yeah, 5 years ago. It was during the Death of Thor storyline. Yeah. She had not really appeared very much. She's basically, essentially, you can think of her as a minor character. And at one point, she's kind of in the way joining up with the Warriors 3. Yeah, and also here's something interesting, though. She and Volstagg got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. She has a lot of kids with this guy. Oh my gosh, it is a lot of kids. Yeah, and the whole thing is, they eat a lot. Yeah. Oh yeah, and then they kind of reveal, we have the origin story of, this version of Blake. Yeah. Yeah, the whole thing with Al Blake is really weird. And by the way, all writing here is still done by Roy Thomas. And then Thor gets a conflict with War Machine. Yep. Sif is here as basically a regular supporting character. And then by 485, he gets to do a brawl with the Thing. Yes, and Malekith returns to the issues. Yep. Malekith the Accursed is here. Yep. A character Walt Simonson created, and this actually was his return to the Thor comics. For a very brief period of time. Yeah, he returned in 485, and he's here to 489. And then afterwards, he pops up a few times, a handful of times in another show I'll talk about in the future. Pops in over Hercules, returning Thor God of Thunder. Was a very, apparently Jason Aaron loved this character so much, he put a lot thought Jason Aaron's one. Well, that wasn't until basically got killed off in War Realms number 6. Oh yeah, he told the person, refer to me by my full name, Malekith the Accursed, not just Malekith. And then Curse himself returns with the Midgard Serpent. Yes, the Midgard Serpent is here. Who is currently deceased. Yes, because Donald Blake murdered the damn thing with Thor's powers. Yeah, first it's Midgard Serpent, then it's, I call him Red Thor. This is also another character we return from Walt Simonson's run. Yeah, his last appearance actually was technically in 482, returns here for a few issues. Then his appearances are sporadic, like very, very sporadic. He appears in Thor the Legend, the opening issue of Avengers Volume 3, Spider-Man Wolverine, basically the opening issue of the Thor Disassemble story arc. Basically like a few more times, and he eventually got killed off. Yep. And then, of course, in 489, they deal with Hela. Actually, 488. 489, he deals with the Hulk. And then, pretty much, basically, something weird happens. Don DeFalco takes command of one issue. Why? Because, basically, Eric Masterson meets up with Thor. Yes. Thor had not met him before. Well, when he was his incarnation. He apparently met him back in Thunderstrike 10. Yeah. Technically, in a way, Eric Masterson was basically paired back and forth for a while until he got his own solo book. I mean, part of this, last time he appeared in Thor, was in 460, and then he returned to the book. Because remember, in issue 10, he finally did return this book into this very book itself. This was his return to Thor. And also, for some reason, the name The Mighty was dropped from the title. And, well, we'll talk about basically the final year of this book's run in the video. But these issues are absolutely amazing. I absolutely love them. I give Thor Collection Volume 22 a 10 out of 10. Next up we have is Marvel Masterworks Defenders Volume 6. Which collects issues 42 to 57 of Defenders. Your writers are, get this, you have David Allen Croft writes all one issue of this whole book. One issue. He has a bunch of co-writers. For 42, 40 to 57, it's Jerry Conway. 44 to 47, Roger Sifler. 47, John Wagner. Don McGregor. 48. Naomi Besser. 53. Scott Eamon. 54. 57 is by Chris Claremont. The artwork mostly is done by Keith Giffen, except for the last 3 issues of this book. The other artists are David Cockrum, who actually does 57. Michael Golden, who does 53 and 54. 53's got oh my gosh, 4 artists on it. We also have Juan Ortiz on 54. 50 and 56 is basic cover. And 57's got 2 artists, George DaCosta, along with David Cockrum. The book covers time period of December 1976, and we conclude in March 19. And no annuals. No annuals, no Giant Test books, just Defenders. It's like whatever basically was done before. It's like, okay, so we have Defenders basically take on the Emissaries of Evil. Well, this is Egghead's version of the team. Yeah, and they are here for 2 issues. Yep, and they disband, but they later return in an Outflight special. Clea joins the roster in these issues. Yep, Clea joins some of them. And then we find a guy called Red Raja in 44, who turns out to be Doctor Strange himself. Yep, and at one point, Doctor Strange basically leaves the team. Well, he's here with Red Raja for a while, and of course, members are fighting each other over the course of these few issues. Doctor Strange leaves with 46, and he's gone for over a year in the book. Power Man leaves, a Red Guardian. So basically, the roster reduced to Valkyrie, Nighthawk, and Clea. We also see we see a Scorpio appear in these issues, except it's not the actual Scorpio. It's a LMD robot who's posing as Nick Fury's brother, Jacob Fury. Yep, and this is a continuation of a plot thread from Avengers 72. Yeah, this is a plot thread that goes on for about a few issues. It skips 1 issue, but it's here for issue 50. But does come back. Let's skip 47. Because 47, we have a guest appearance by Moon Knight. And supposedly, Wonder Man's here along with Nick Fury. Except the Nick Fury appearance issues is not Nick Fury. It is Max Fury, an LMD. Yeah, seriously. Yeah, it was later retconned. This was him. But I kind of discussed issues already in the Marvel Moon Knight Epic Collection. And then 50 is kind of in the way of the conclusion over this story arc, which is the golden 50th issue. And then 51 is basically to take on the Ringer, which is interesting. Yes. Also, a guy called Dollar Bill. Oh boy, this guy. Dollar Bill. This guy would indirectly lead to, joke in the book, basically, we're going to lead to the end of Defenders because he outed the Defenders. There's also Ledge, which is the guy who works with him. Yeah, and he's here, and he causes one of the most infamous storylines in history of Defenders, Defenders for Day. Submariner returns to the group with issue 52. has been gone for quite a while. He's been gone since issue 17. Yeah, he left the book and now he's back. Clea leaves the team. We also deal with a backstory of the Red Guardian, one who's in this group anyways. Yep, and that's pretty much the story of the next few issues. It wraps up with issue 57, but it's an excellent set of issues, and I love them. We also have Valkyrie take on the Lunatic. Well, the original one anyways, before he got killed off issue of Marvel Comics Presents. Yep. And eventually basically would lead to a guest appearance by Miss Marvel, Carol Danvers, who basically was between issue 14 and probably 15. Yep. But yeah, this book is just absolutely so fun. Love it. Give this book a 10 out of 10. Okay, so that's episode review. Next up, Doctor. Okay, next video. Bye.